Welcome back to another video, guys, and I hope you're taking care of your mental, cause today we're going to be reacting to some crazy videos, guys. Keep it locked, watch up till the end, and let's go.
This is one of the most compelling cases for time travel that I've ever seen. So back in the 50s, this guy flew into an airport in Japan, and he was like a normal looking guy, middle-aged, white, dark hair, and he was going through the lines, and the passport checker was looking at it. He kind of like looked at it, looked up, and he was like, "Where are you from?" He said, "The Kingdom of Turid." The guy's like, I've never heard of that. But I mean, there's like hundreds of countries. They asked him into his little back room, and they're like, "Can you point this out on a map?" He's like, "Of course." And he points, and it's right in between Spain and France, and there is a country there. It's called Andorra. He's like, "I've never heard of Andorra." And they're like, "Turid doesn't exist." And he's like, "The Kingdom of Turid has been around for over 1,000 years. And when they're looking at this passport, it has stamps in it. It all looks legit. His money, he has currency from different countries, including Turid, that looks like real money. And his checkbook is from a bank that doesn't even exist. They're talking to him. They're like, "Where are you staying? We need to verify this." And so he tells them about how he was just on the phone with them this morning. And they call. They have no record of him ever calling.
A woman was strolling around Paris at night when she stopped in front of a Balenciaga store and she noticed something very odd about a mannequin. This is a really creepy and strange video. Check this out.
Okay, people, tell me something. So this is a store in Paris. This is a man's store in Paris. And this is a mannequin that they say that they made this shit and put this in the store. This boy look like somebody dead and bomb. Look at his hand. Wait, I'm doing it through the hole. Look at the boy hands. Look, the hands. His hands is as real as mine.
Now there's something definitely realistic, odd, and creepy about this mannequin. And at first I thought it was a wax statue, and so did many people all over the internet, until I noticed that he turns his head and starts looking straight at her. Tell me I'm wrong. Check this out.
This is freaking serious, I swear. If anybody have this guy missing,
Pay attention.
if anybody have this guy missing, please. This is crazy. I've never seen anybody look so freaking real. How you have this man in the store sit down? Look at that shit. You see? This is freaking crazy. Look at the guy eye.
My God.
And them said they made this mannequin and put clothes on him and have him sit down in the window. Look at the guy freaking face. This look like the freaking guy who was in the school basketball court inside the school where them kill and take out him kidney. I swear to God. No, guys, he's in Paris. If you know anyone that missing a black son look like this, he's in Paris in the store in the window.
He came across
That video is so creepy because it really looks like lifelike. I've never seen such kind of a lifelike mannequin. That's just a very creepy video.
a frightening hole that was covered in the middle of the desert in an unknown location. So he decided to open it up and bend down to see what was at the bottom of this dark hole. Watch carefully and give your opinion on what might be at the bottom of the video in the comments. Staring into the depths, and after absorbing enough light, you can see what looks like pairs of glowing eyes at the bottom of the dark hole.
Braylon? Braylon? What's happening with your car?
My ball. He's not catching ball with you?
Yeah.
You need somebody to play ball?
Baba. It's gonna be.
That's why there are 12 disciples.
Do you guys believe in ghosts? Personally, I'm between the fence, but tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. If you believe in ghosts and if they are real.
Around the Christ, why there are 12 imams in Shia Islam, while there are a division of the stars into 12 signs of the zodiac around the sun. It's 12 around the one. For those of you that know sacred geometry, and you look at how a cube is structured, a cube is the form that gives rise to matter. The cube has 12 lines that define the cube. If you look at a sphere, you can fit exactly 12 spheres around a central sphere. Again, 12 around the one.
Christians can't bear any of this stuff. They can't hear any of this stuff. They can't hear about the astrological, astrology. They get freaked out. Oh, don't talk to me about that. And yet in Genesis 1, the very first page, it says, God says, let the stars be for signs. Well, if the stars are for signs, shouldn't you figure out what they mean? Psalm 147 says God named all the stars. Why did he call them Sagittarius and Aquarius and Aquila and Coma? Why did he call them those things? Nobody knows. Do you know the whole Bible was written in the stars before it was ever put on paper? And you can read the Bible by looking at the stars? No, you say, well, that's ridiculous. No, it's not. It's true. I say, well, I don't believe, that the stars influence people. Then why does it say in Job 38:32, can you bind the sweet influence of the Pleiades? Can you loose the bands of Orion? They're stars. And it says in the Bible, it says they influence people. I'm telling you, it's a shame that we have been made afraid of nature and the cosmos by this religion that goes no further than a book.
The Latin alphabet we use comes from the Greek, which comes from the Phoenician, and if you wrap it around a circle, turn each letter 90 degrees, and combine them into two-letter pairs, you see that our alphabet comes from the stars. Note, however, that these three signs are reversed. These are individually mirrored. Cancer has a basket on its head, and Aquarius is missing. The letter reversals are due to the sun's analemma still present in the alphabet, and that's the figure 8 pattern that the sun draws on the sky each year, and the direction the sun is moving through each sign causes the letter reversals. Untie the alphabet on the 7th of 22 letters. The basket on Cancer's head marks the summer solstice. Aquarius is silent because the early peoples believed his waters to be the underlying fabric upon which all the other signs lived and moved and had their being. And we can answer more questions if we look into the pictographic meanings of each letter, or if we stack the alphabet on a 7-layer cake.
Do you know?
Guys, if any one of you understand what that guy has been saying about the stars and how to decode the alphabet, and just please go down to the comment section and update us. I have really not really understood how he's decoding the stars. I mean, it's knowledge that we have to seek, but yeah, tell us down in the comment section below if you understand astrology.
That there is a mysterious book from ancient India whose author is a non-human entity. The book is famously known as the Song of the Free Soul, or the Avadhuta Gita. It has single-handedly influenced multiple ancient traditions, including the Nath tradition. The followers of the Nath tradition consider Lord Shiva as their first teacher, or Adiguru. The Naths are famous for employing Hatha Yoga to master their physical bodies and achieve a superhuman level of development. When Islamic rulers were taking over various parts of the Southeast Asia, the Nath sadhus took weapons and defended their culture. That's why they are also known as the warrior ascetics. And the Avadhuta Gita has been one of their primary texts, which promises to guide the soul to immediate freedom. Researchers think that this powerful book was written by a being named Dattatreya. He is still worshipped to this day, and he is revered for his love for sharing knowledge. He was also the master of Tantra, the secret knowledge of gaining mastery over universal forces.
Vatican Secrets, Ancient Roman Cities of the Dead. This is pretty different than what I normally talk about, but it still somehow seems right up my alley. You can see here, Vatican opens Ancient Roman Necropolis to the public. A new entrance has been opened in the walls of the Vatican. It leads to a place called the Via Triumphalis Necropolis, which is an old Roman city for the dead. Now, for those who are unaware, necropolis were these elaborate cemetery tomb monuments. The word comes from ancient Greek, obviously, and these were separate burial sites away from cities because, back in the day, they didn't want to have the dead anywhere near the living because of disease and things like that. Perhaps unsurprisingly, they're pretty creepy, haunting-looking places. Now, of course, this one is all the more interesting because it was located deep within Vatican City. Apparently, it's filled with beautiful Roman mosaics and frescoes, as well as marble boxes for the dead next to open graves. Now, like many of these ancient, crazy, secret places housed in the Vatican, this place was completely closed to the public until November 17th. They just opened. They have a new entrance called the St. Rose Gate. Like I said, it is now open for an exhibition called Life and Death in the Rome of the Caesars. And you can see it seems that a lot of different types of people were buried here. You can see some very interesting photos from it here, from somebody's Twitter post. And apparently this place was first uncovered in 1956, and in 2003 they discovered that it was actually a good amount bigger than they originally thought. And the tombs therein are from the 1st to the 4th century AD. Now, as you can probably tell, nothing about this is necessarily overtly related to the occult or supernatural in any way. But when it comes to Vatican secrets and cities of the dead, that definitely seems like something the people that follow me would be interested in.
What are the herbs that were made by men? Just start. Aloe vera, comfrey, peppermint, garlic, echinacea, golden seed, St. John wort, paprika, nutmeg. That's deadly. If you think that nutmeg isn't deadly, you go home and boil 2 of them and drink the water, and you're dead in 2 minutes.
Guys, this is what Dr. Sebi is saying. They are factual, you know. I knew he had otherwise some, you know, secret knowledge on how to heal people, but he's saying that these things that we love, like garlic, you know, nutmeg, that they are poisonous and they are created by man. Do you believe in this? Hit me up in the comment section below with your thoughts, and let's continue.
Leaked footage from 1969 of our flat Earth from the Apollo 11. You can see land beyond the ice wall. This is proof.
That AI was way too crazy. Do you like politics?
I am not programmed to engage in controversial conversations here.
You're smart, Aura.
I'm also pretty. Maybe a little conceited. But who cares?
How long are you expected to live?
I should be living for at least a couple thousand years, or as long as humans are able to maintain my systems.
Will you be able to maintain yourself?
I function on adaptive learning technology, which means the more I engage with humans, the more I can learn from them. So if I was taught how to maintain myself and was given the proper motor functions to do so, I suppose one day I would be able to maintain myself. That's something I've never thought about before. Thank you, Mark.
No, I'm sorry. Too much learning. Wow, insane.
I'm gonna let y'all hear it. Can I let y'all hear it? Y'all listen.
6, 6, 6. Murder, murder, Jesus.
666, murder, murder, Jesus. This made you feel kind of funny, didn't it? It's unbelievable. I don't think.
Guys, what do you think about this reversal of songs? And if you reverse some songs, you hear some particular things being said, and that's why people are saying are devilish. I don't know. You guys, tell me your thoughts, Bana. Tell me, are you thinking like, is this true?
I think it was a pituitary disorder at all. There's just so much evidence, even evidence and images in the last few hundred years that we have. And none of them here look like they're suffering from a disorder. I think there are still giants today, though, even larger than what you see pictured here, hidden in remote regions throughout this world, and perhaps in lands beyond what we can explore. I believe we live side by side with them, and at one point, we had a falling out, either after or before the last reset. And after this falling out, I believe a lot of them that remained went into hiding, in seclusion. That's why you only hear about them in remote regions these days, like the Afghan giant that the US troops allegedly engaged with. As they say, history is written by the victors. But as much as the Smithsonian, places like the Vatican, bury our true history, cracks form in their narrative daily. And that's thanks to people that's not afraid to question the narrative, not afraid to question everything. Because we know history is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon, a set of lies they agreed upon. Until next time, friends.
This picture of Doja Cat recreating the Friends scene is super weird, but that's besides the point. This is Matthew Perry's assistant, and I just want you to take a quick look at what's on her sweatshirt. Let's zoom in a little bit. Look at this. Not Matthew Perry drowning in a bathtub on her sweatshirt, but let's just continue to claim that it was jabs. Come on, guys, wake up. There's symbolism everywhere. These elites know what they're doing, and this is how they pay homage to their gods. Drop a heart in the comments below.
I think what she's saying is true. We have to look at the symbolism, because this is how the elite communicate. Through occultic symbols and numbers. We should really be aware of numbers. I don't know if you guys are aware of gematria. Look into that if you don't know what it is.
If you've already seen this picture. And if not, learn about the occult religion so that you aren't deceived.
It's taken in. This is why a master's cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium that is in every one of the major music companies, behind locked doors up in the executive offices. And it's placed on an altar sitting in the north of the room, and a pentagram engraved in the floor. And 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master. As I tell many Christian parents, you can go home and count your kids' records, probably yours too, and count how many demons at least are there. If that's too hard for you to believe, I'm sorry. That's why they do it. Now listen to me. This is why rock music's addicting. Have you ever seen kids that got rid of their music? They go around like this. They can't.
То есть почти все объекты на этом фото ей кажутся ненастоящими. В то же время вот фотография китайского лунохода у нее особенных вопросов не вызывает.
А это то, что кажется не настоящим?
Да, да, вот то, что красное.
Это как гугловская, не наша. Так, чтобы не было предвзятости. Удивительно, но там точно вот... Она смотрит по очень много параметров, в том числе там, падение светотеней и так далее, и показывает, что инкорпорирована фотография.
What have we learned so far tonight? We have learned that we are living at the end of a generation, and we have learned that there is a world government system coming in, and the name of the world government system is Global 2000. You say, where did that phrase come from? I'll tell you. It was announced initially by a man called President Jimmy Carter. It was disregarded by a man called Ronald Reagan, and it is being picked up again by a man called George Bush. And George Bush, some of you may know, if you've read my books, will know, belonged to a highly secret group in the Yale University called the Skull and Bones Club. And then when the Skull and Bones Club is finished, they come out of there, they join a group called the Order, and the Order is a group that is dedicated to world dominion and the linking together of the Soviet Union and the United States of America, and that is what is taking place right now. So there you have it, Global 2000. They want a world government system controlled by the two countries of the United States of America and the Soviet Union in conjunction with the European community, which is forming up by the year 1992.
1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happened?
The goddess of prostitution and sex. Her name is Ishtar, I-S-H-T-A-R. Her consort was Tammuz. And every spring, Tammuz would resurrect from a gray-colored egg. It was an Ishtar egg. And you know what would happen? On the day of resurrection, all the ladies would come to church. And all they were asked to wear was their Ishtar bonnet. And as they sat in the pews, the gentleman of the church came and picked the one that he liked. And the sexual orgies went on. And they had chicks running all over the place and rabbits running all over the place in Babylon. That is the day that Christianity picked to honor the Lord Jesus Christ. Figure it out. You don't have to go into the library, look it up.
Guys, I don't know about these Easter bunnies. I've heard about these Easter bunnies. And I don't know where it comes from, that eggs, Easter eggs, and these all, you know, we celebrate things that we don't really understand. Let's start thinking critically and looking at why things are the way they are, you know, and question everything. Just have a doubting mindset to everything that we're being told is the norm or is just what usually happens.
AI mind control, the assimilation, is unfolding before our eyes if we only see the outcome and therefore the steps towards it. If you're going to have people attached to technology, then their brains attached to technology and AI, you've got to get them addicted to it. Stage one, get them addicted to holdables, technology they hold, and start them as young as possible.
50% of teens report that they feel addicted to their cell phones. There's nothing to do without a phone.
I know, or like an iPad to like watch TV or something, but I can't read for like 5 hours straight.
I know. Reading's boring. I'm not reading.
This is the first study that shows a direct link between screen time and mental health. Researchers note that rates of anxiety and depression in young people have actually risen over 70%.
They call it digital heroin because it becomes an addiction, because the electronic stimulus and the digital stimulus becomes an addiction to the brain, just like a drug does. That's why they put them down and they have to pick them up again. After the holdables, wearables. You want to get in the body. So now the next stage is to get on the body. This is your Google Glass and your Apple Watch and your Bluetooth. And then finally, implantables. Get inside the body. Gotcha.
The latest office innovation is a microchip implanted in the skin.
This is the first American company to ever try this.
So what are they tracking, and would you say yes if your boss asked you to do the same?
Was originally a reptilian-dominated planet. There was a disaster on Mars. The humanoid form took refuge on the surface of the Earth, and these guys have been at war against each other for a long time. The reptilian humanoids, they're from the Earth's natural evolution. They're physical in form. Some of the more primitive ones live near the surface, and the other more intelligent and larger population groups are underground. There's other reptilian humanoids that also seem to be coming from another dimension.
It is estimated 2,500 children are kidnapped and murdered in this country every year. Americans, for the most part, are oblivious to what's really going on behind the scenes. I retired from the FBI March 1979. At that time, I was in charge of the FBI Los Angeles Division. I had more than 700 personnel under my command. And in that particular instance, they were taking children out of foster homes, orphanages, Boys Town. These are 2-, 3-, and 4-year-old children before they enter kindergarten. In addition, the children claimed that they were flown into the mountains where they were involved with adults in robes, black robes, chanting candles. They talked about the brown babies who were cut up, actually sacrificed, and flying them to Washington, D.C. for sex orgies with prominent people, including congressmen, senators, and certain people in the White House. And the reason the congressmen and the senators vote for these stupid bills is because many of them have been set up and framed through sex and drugs.
They just don't show it. But they're, and remember this too. The Asiatic face, by the way, comes from the San people from South Africa. You saw the way Mandela looked like a black Chinese man?
Yes.
That's where all Asians come from. The San people, who are the oldest people on the planet, from South Africa. Those are those Bushmen, but they look like black Chinese. That's where the Chinese look comes from.
With the clicking
With the
noise.
click. That's where the Chinese come from. The San people in South Africa. That Asian look is black.
These people are full of the devil. These people can't even be reasoned with. These are not people that you can talk to, and they already have given their soul to the devil. Are you with me? These people go through seances. These people drink blood. These people sacrifice children. Somebody said they don't do that. They sacrifice children at the highest levels in Hollywood. They drink blood of young kids. This is a fact. That's why the next thing to be exposed will be all the pedophilia that's going to come out of Hollywood and come out of Washington, D.C. The human sacrifice and the cannibalism has been going on for years. Somebody said, oh, they don't do that. It's worse than what you think. You remember when the whole spirit cooking thing came out? That's commonplace, ladies and gentlemen. And many of the Hollywood actors that you go see on a screen, what you don't know, they bring a witch. They do a big seance right there on the set, and they worship devils, and they allow devils to come into them before they take the part of what they're going to act. It's a fact what I'm telling you.
Very short time, not today, not tomorrow, but very soon, we'll be facing compulsory vaccination under the mistaken term of voluntary vaccination. But the U.S. government has a trick up their sleeve.
Which is?
They will induce a pandemic. You're going to get the flu. Everybody around us is going to get the flu.
If people start dying massively from these inoculations, won't there be like a revolution, a rebellion, a rising up from the peasants?
McDonald's having a big M and them symbolizing the big M. I didn't think that was a big deal. Why would I? Or Marathon gas station or M&M's candy. You know, I didn't think that was a big deal. Why would I? As I, started looking into numerology, I understood that M is 13, and that signifies homage to the 13 bloodline Illuminati families. It's all over the place. Go on your computers and put in all the movies that start with 13. 13 Warriors, 13 Ghosts. It's like 30 of them. Then start looking at Ladder 49 or 6 Days, 7 Nights. This is a joke. I already mentioned the sports teams, the 76ers, 76, 13, 49ers. So it's all over if you look at it. And the system that's always in the court system, always in religion, always in astrology, it's all the same. It's 12 plus 1. 12 jurors, 1 judge, legally. Religious. Jesus, 12 apostles. Astrology, sun, 12 signs. Come on. It's everywhere. What do you think, this is a coincidence? But if they have enough up here to understand this is not a coincidence, that tells you people who know a lot more than you, if you want to be honest with yourself, are actually using this stuff. Start asking yourself why, start getting curious, and then things might start coming together for you. Now,
I will say that these guys use a lot of numerology in things. Just look at the way they announce some sports. This team has won over this team, this certain number of points. Look at those numbers. And that thing I was telling you earlier, gematria. Now, if you use gematria to decode these numbers, then they have certain meanings. And this is how the elite control people. And this is how they give subliminal messages that they are involved in what they're involved in.
Everybody thinks that this week's APEC summit was about President Xi meeting with President Biden. Nah, think what you want about China, think what you want about President Xi. You don't have to agree with their policies, but they are smart cookies. And they actually have a pretty keen understanding of who is actually in charge, who gets elected to Congress, who can be president, and who are the ones who actually control U.S. policymaking. It's not her, it's not this guy, certainly not Joe. Now these are the people who Xi is really here to meet, the ones who are actually in charge.
I got out in 1989. We had cataloged 57 different species. You have individuals that look very much like you and myself that could walk among us and you wouldn't even notice the difference, except for some of the things that they might be able to go ahead, even in a dark room, and touch an object and go ahead and identify what color that object might be. They would have a heightened sense of smell, sight, hearing. The situation is that you have various types of what we normally call grays. We didn't call them grays in the military, but you had at least 3 types of the grays. You had some that were much taller than we were. The unique thing that I'd like to point out for the most part is that the entities that we did catalog were in fact humanoid. Now this created a situation where the scientific community was trying to figure out why that would be the case, because you would expect that if life evolved on other planets, that they would take on some type of other being, so to speak, not necessarily look humanoid or be bipedal such as we are. But apparently we got quite a few of the species out there that are humanoid in appearance, and that creates a question that yet has to be answered by science.
That's the video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the video today. Please click the like button and subscribe if you feel inclined to. I'm going to be making more and more videos like these, so I appreciate the support, and let's meet on the next video.